Bum, bum.
Dun dun dun. We're back. Welcome
Tell me,
to
Chris, ready
the
for another
TigerSox
series.
series.
Part of the Blue Collar Beer Gourmets.
Back in the garage.
Beer reviews back in the garage where we belong.
Where we belong for now on a hot day. Hi, everybody. Did you miss us? We missed you.
It's sort of a humid day here in Vegas. I'm noticing that I'm already turning redder than my usual red, and
Oh wow, you need beer.
Exactly. There we go. To
vital
replenish the
fluids.
I'm sweating far too much. But today's selection is another one that is sent to us by our beer Santa, Mr. Gone V6, Chris in Indiana. Thank you so much, Chris. Loving you, man. We love you. I got to send another box to you. I really do. I mean, I feel bad now.
We need to find beers.
Yeah, exactly.
We commented
That's the
this on
problem.
already. We're running out of things to send.
Yeah, I'm going to be writing you on Instagram soon, trying to find out what I could possibly offer you that's available here that you don't have, which is pretty slim.
At this point, I would say just here, whether you've had this or not, drink this, and I think that would still be a nice gesture.
That could possibly work.
Because maybe he has a favorite 2 or 3 from Big Dog or 2 or 3 from Tenaya Creek, and you can send him a best of box or something.
Regular viewers of this channel will recognize not necessarily the can because this is the first time we're drinking it, but you will recognize the brewery, and that is a brewery that we're a big fan of. This is an actual Hoosier beer. I incorrectly said that last beer was a Hoosier beer. It's not. It came from Wisconsin. This is an actual Hoosier beer.
This is.
They are out of
Columbus, Indiana.
Columbus, Indiana. Ohio. All right, Indiana.
47203 for all you zip code fans out there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And today's selection is the
Dun, dun, dun. Not to be confused with the candy bar. Payday. Anyway, we got, ladies and gentlemen, 450 North Brewery. Payday. Hoppy Pilsener, 5.4% ABV.
Yeah, let me crank up those stats really quickly.
Tell us more about the beer. Tell them what they could win, Johnny.
The only friend of mine who has reviewed this on Untapped is our man Chris, who sent it to us. Only gave it a 3.5, which is kind of surprising. He's normally as big a fan of 450 North as we are. This only has had 387 rankings total on Untapped, giving it a cumulative score of 3.56. Only 9 rankings on Beer Advocate, giving it a cumulative of 3.85, which is a very good score. It was put up on Veterans Day of last year, so 11/11 last year was the first time that anybody reviewed this beer. Okay. It is in fact a German Pilsner, and the German is actually, it says Pilsner on it. One thing I learned on my beer atlas last night is that usually the Germans refer to their beers as Pils rather than Pilsners, and that's a way to distinguish it from the original Czech beers, and according to some, to actually show some respect to the Czechs for having created such a widely regarded beer throughout the continent. German Pilsners usually have German lager yeast, which obviously the Czechs wouldn't use. German water and German water has a higher mineral content, so oftentimes German Pilsners have the slightest bit of sulfur in taste or aroma. That's not a problem. That's not seen as a problem in a German Pilsner. They use Sauser type hops like Tettnager, Hallertauer, and Splott.
Splott. That's such a German word.
Hops, as opposed to Saaz hops themselves.
Is it Haller 2 hops, or do they pronounce it differently?
I thought it was Hallertauer, Tauer.
It very well could be. I just know there is such a thing as Haller 2.
Oh, okay.
So,
could be.
Maybe it's their German pronunciation.
The appearance is usually straw to light gold, clear, creamy head. May have a light sulfury note from the H2O or yeast. Apparently, German yeast also has a high mineral content as well as the water to create that. Hops should not dominate the malt. Most importantly, they are a little bit more hoppy bitterness than their Czech counterparts. Medium to high carbonation, medium light mouthfeel, and German. Okay, this was adopted from the Czech, as we said, first brewed in the 1870s in Germany. Is when you first see the appearance of Pilsners there. So I think that's where you have it.
Older, actually.
Aroma, grain, sweet, malt, flowery, spicy, and herbal hops. So,
but in this case, being from Indiana and it actually called Hoppy Pilsner, we're going to probably stray away from.
Probably, but nowadays it's so easy to synthesize water. You could very easily find you know, you could get a sample of water from Germany and synthesize the water so that you basically have German water to use for that. And I could actually see 450 North doing that. I mean, they make such great beers. Um,
Interesting point. I mean, I guess you could always drop them a letter as a fan and say, how do you treat your water? Or like, what do you do? Go through any steps to make this more German? You know, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer. They might
Speaking of
just
water, right now there's a
politely
guy
say,
back in who's trying to sue Olympia Beer Company for keeping the tagline "It's the water," considering they are not using actual artesian water. Although they too are claiming that they're cloning the water, but it's not actual artesian water. So, alrighty, there you have it. Our one and only complaint with this particular beer, as Tony pointed out, Tony the Pony, Pony Boy pointed out before before the video started. 450 North always wants you to drink this shortly after purchasing. The problem is we ain't got no brewed on date or enjoy by date.
Right. Please enjoy soon after purchase for maximum freshness, which of course is good advice for any beer, unless you're looking to age your beer. But with that on every can, I think that we've tried so far from 450.
Yeah, especially because mostly we get from our IPAs.
Kind of a crucial. If that's your tagline, you need the date. So why they don't have the date on here, I don't know. But that is the only criticism I have so far of 450 North.
I guess the way to judge it is if you don't see the cans on Instagram anymore.
Keep it down, will you? How dare you drive down the street?
You got a lot of nerve, man. If you don't see the cans on Instagram anymore, you know it's past. I actually haven't seen this. Now this did get mailed, so perhaps that has something to do with the.
Please don't be nothing but phone. Please don't be nothing. Please. Because I'm really anxious to try this. I'm a fan of 450. And I really like Pilsners. I'm a big fan of Pilsners. In fact, whenever I go to Tenaya Creek, I never walk out of there without having a pint of their Pilsner.
Yeah.
I was there last night. Guess what I had? A Pilsner.
A Pilsner.
Among other things, but I did it. Shit.
It does appear to be kind of foamy, but not too bad.
Yeah, we're about halfway there so far.
You know, this thing about Pilsners is that they're so high in carbonation.
Look at that. That's a beautiful, beautiful color.
Oh, yeah. Lots and lots of carbonation. Look at that.
That actually looks like a real true German pour right there with a nice big fat.
It does, and that is one of those times when you're actually seeing it on camera. I'd say that's pretty true to the color that it is. What I'm seeing on.
That's a happy beer. Look at all those bubbles.
Lots and lots of bubbles.
This looks like a jacuzzi in a glass, people. I mean, this thing is bubbling big time. It looks like a 7-Up amount of carbonation, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually it does.
When you pour it like a fresh 7-Up into a glass and you just watch the bubbles, to me, that's what this looks like.
Hops and yeast in it.
Oh my.
Honestly, I even smell a little bit of hay. It smells almost like I want to say it smells like a farmhouse ale, only because I smell that hay.
I get the sweetness of like the accompanying sweetness that goes with like the yeast of a Belgian. But that hoppiness is definitely fusing with it, and this beer smells great.
And once again,
this beer smells so clean.
German Pilsner, the hops are definitely more bitter than the Czech counterparts, but the hops should not dominate over the malt. It should be a good combination, a good melding of malt and hops for this.
That's a good
This
looking
is
beer.
Exactly what you would expect for a Pilsner, though. Lots and lots of carbonation.
Yeah.
Very light color. That head ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, it has a lemony color to it. In fact, the head on your glass right now has that what I call kind of the mushroom effect, where it has that plateau, then you have that center little elevation.
Yeah, exactly.
I love when a beer does that. To me, that just indicates perfect carbonation and just a really well-made beer.
Nice
Probably won't show up in the camera, but
let's do on the side that doesn't.
Right in the center of a really nice thick head like that, you got that little mound. And you got a mound.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a mound too.
You are. You got a pitcher's mound on your glass. Because this is TigerSox, so we have.
That's right, baseball reference.
Zach, if there isn't a name for that already, here we're gonna coin the phrase pitcher's mound here in Vegas. Even if there's a name existing.
The head of the beer on top of the head of.
In Vegas, that's known as a pitcher's mound.
Yeah.
So
let's do it.
We're groundbreakers. Cheers.
We are. We tried to be anyway. Cheers. Very nice.
Is a German Pilsner.
It is.
That is definitely a German, because I am getting that slight sulfur that they were talking about. As you exhale, you feel that little bit of
Probably, yeah. I mean, I can't
Hmm.
really speak to my experience with sulfurized water. I'll be honest,
True.
but
Maybe
I'm getting,
that slight hint of burnt matches.
yeah, I could find that.
I think they have synthesized the water. I really do.
I'm
Either they've
thinking a
added
little too
more.
hard here,
Yeah.
everybody. Sorry.
Um, this is.
This is delicious. First of
It
all,
is.
I'll
It's
say that.
dry. It's
Very
dry
dry,
and sweet.
very dry.
Um,
Just a nice little hint of sweetness to it. Crisp, bubbly, lively on the tongue.
mhm.
Vibrant, refreshing as hell.
The hops are there, but they are not taking over the
Right, because
maltiness.
they want to still stick to the
This is.
Pilsner.
I would still say this is a malty beer with hop elements
Yes,
as opposed to a hoppy beer with malt elements.
absolutely agree. Yeah. Just clean, just really clean, crisp. It's got that nice tartness, like that nice bite, not tartness, that nice zing and bite that a real
Hmm.
Pilsner has. I've always enjoyed Pilsners for that reason. A really well-made Pilsner, when you have that first, second, third sip, our neighbor's rooster is out running around.
Ah.
We have roosters in Las Vegas, in case you weren't aware. They have that nice zing to them, like a real just like a clasp on your tongue. Not sourness, not bitter, just that real clean, satisfying, like cleansing almost of the palate when
I
you have a
believe
really good.
a Pilsner, if you can't say at least that it was clean and crisp, whether you like the flavor or not, then they have failed in making a Pilsner. I believe every single Pilsner should have those two adjectives added to it, clean and crisp,
Right.
and you're right on the money there.
Yeah, I'm not really coming up with any adjectives for this beer that aren't already out there, famously attached to, Pilsners. But I gotta say, I mean, this is like, to me, this is textbook. I really think this is a textbook Pilsner.
I will say this, I'm going to go so far as to say, and I know that we're only in the month of May, but I would not be surprised if this was not the Pilsner of 2018 for me.
Ooh,
At least
that's a bold statement to quote
I,
Pulp Fiction.
I doubt, I really doubt that. I mean, I've had many great Pilsners. I doubt one is going to supersede this year. Now, maybe by 2019 rolls around,
Yeah, we
something new will come along, but
still got 7 months
we
left
still
in
do have
this
7 months. I mean, I'm going to remember and make a note of this enough to say, come back when I have another Pilsner and say, this is good, but it doesn't
Yeah,
knock the,
let's
it
go back
doesn't
to
knock
payday.
the
We have to
payday
remember
out of there.
payday.
So,
Yes. 450 again. I don't know if you guys, any of you that work for 450, watch this or have heard about us little two guys in Vegas, but we are huge fans of your beer. This is another example. This is just textbook to me. This is fantastic. It's triumphant to me. I mean, this is like really exceeds expectations for me. It's just incredibly delicious beer.
I gotta say, in all sincerity, I wouldn't be surprised if 450 doesn't end up being the next, like, say, New Belgium, one of those breweries, Stone, that isn't corporate. If they're just successful. I love the hashtag corporate not successful because I gotta say, y'all are putting pictures of this brewery's beers all over Instagram, Tumblr, and I have to assume that maybe it's now, maybe you can get 450 north, maybe not as far west as here, but it does work its way west, and maybe works its way east. I don't have any idea how far they distribute. I'm just amazed at how many pictures, though, I see when I go
That's
through
impressive. I
Instagram
mean,
in the morning and see how many, and Tumblr too, how many pictures of 450 North Brewing's beer cans
yeah.
all over the place. I don't think they bottle anything. I think everything I've seen has been a can.
Let's put it this way: if the distribution ever reaches Nevada, I'm going to be buying your product aggressively because
Mhm.
every beer you guys have put in front of me so far, this is what, our seventh, eighth one, maybe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, every single one of them has just been
This is one of the very few that wasn't an
dynamic.
IPA too.
Right, that's true, and that's
And
another thing I like is as such a fan of IPAs that I am. They have so many interpretations of IPAs. That kind of like Stone. I mean, that they'll take an IPA recipe and tweak it, play with it a little bit, and
we got 50 seconds, my man. So
48, 47. Oh, we're good. We can squeeze in a lot in 40
Yeah.
seconds. Come on. But anyway, I'm gonna have to score this really high, 4.50.
I'm thinking the same thing. In fact, I might even give it a 4. Because it came in a can, it's getting a 4.75 from me. Until next time,
Seriously.
drink good beer.
Thanks again,
Don't
Chris.
break the bank doing it. We thank you so much,
Do not
Chris.
break the bank
We
doing it.
appreciate you.
Don't.
No
And there's a
bank,
Belch
no break
goodbye for you.
banking allowed.